my mum just set me up at a modeling agency. She just said, Ollie, today we're going to a modeling agency on a Monday. I'm like, all right. You know, I had nothing else to do. I was just kind of doing some work experience. So in my gap year, suddenly I'm doing these photo shoots and I'm getting paid like £50 an hour, like $100 an hour, which for me, I'd gone from £5 an hour working in a bar to £50 an hour having someone take a picture of me. I'm like, well, this is easy. I was booking everything, but not the high fashion stuff like this. It's like, tea, it's tea. Stuff like that, you know, commercials and just smiling and doing whatever. And they very quickly figured out that one, I don't shut up, and two, that I'm quite comfortable in front of camera and I'm just always being funny. That one of these guys was like, have you ever thought about doing television? And I was like, well, yeah, of course I have. And they always talk about feast and famine. Like you'll get a bunch of work and then you won't be working. I've always been employed under contract working on at least at one point, 6 shows at the same time for my entire career. And I know of no one else that can say that of my friends and stuff. That's just, I'm lucky. Very, very lucky. So over these 10 years, I've done Food Network, Lonely Planet, I've traveled, I hit about 30, 40 countries, I've traveled around the world.
Taiwan is crazy. The hardest part so far is the swim. It's constantly being kicked.
I was in LA, I've done this amazing stuff. And you know, I've won the awards, I've done it all. But we're realizing that now we've got 2 kids, we live in Singapore, and it's costing 20,000 US a month to live there. It's the most expensive country in the world. Education, if you're foreign, costs a fortune. All I was doing was working to survive. So I was having to earn somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000 a year to then have no money. I didn't have any money. Of course, I wanted to move to the US market. Some of my stuff, my Food Network, got seen in America. And the reaction was so good that I'm like, all right, it's time to move to the States. So waiting for the green card. And when it eventually came in, I'm like, okay, now I'm able to do work here. I'm able to cast. 10, 11 days after my green card came in, I got my first casting, which was for Right This Minute. And I met the guys over Skype, had a bit of a joke, and like, I'm good in casting, but I'm best in the room. That's where I'm the best. So I said, why don't I just come out to Phoenix and see you guys on Wednesday, which was 2 days later. So they said, sure. Got me a ticket, flew me out. I was totally prepared, and I've done this so many times that I was just nice and casual and just chatting to them, and that was it. Booked the show, took 11 days. That's my Hollywood story, 11 days onto a national show, and moved to Phoenix not 2-3 weeks later. A lot of people have always sort of been surprised at the way I live my life. It's a lot of spontaneous decisions. And the way I look at it is that life is full of forks. Okay, think about like the multiverse theory. They always say that for every decision, there's another universe that gets created. I think the universe gives us opportunities. That's what I call them, forks. And it's a question of you either have the guts to take the opportunity or you don't. And I've always leaned on the go for it. So I've had all these opportunities which seem so crazy and so ridiculous. For the most recent one being Right This Minute, I'm being offered the biggest show in Asia. I'm being offered 3 shows in Asia, one of which is going to be the biggest reality show in history. But then I get offered everything I've ever wanted, which is a national show in the States. Both were filled with risks, and it was just a question of figuring out what was best for our family and taking that opportunity. So when you're faced with these forks, you know, too many people get caught up in the thought. Sometimes you've just got to go with it, and you know you'll figure it out.